Yo, people, welcome back to the channel. So, welcome to the people over on Waffle TV. And we are here for the Premier League 24-25 predictions. Arsenal, will they win the league? Third time lucky. Could Unai Emery's men get back-to-back top three? Could Ipswich or one of the newly promoted teams stay up and secure another season in the Premier League? Loads to discuss, and I've got somebody that has been in the chat numerous times. It is proper Spurs fan, as they say. It is Jose from Altel. Yeah, I don't know how to say a channel name.
Eltel
Sorry, but
Cockerel.
there you go.
Eltel Cockerel.
I'm scared I'm gonna mispronounce it. So yeah,
Nah,
but
you're all
welcome,
right.
Jose.
Thank you, Hanno.
Hope you're well.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah, I have been in your chat on very numerous occasions. I also entered the sweepstake for the Euros, and Spain won
Yeah,
it.
sweepstake, you won
So
it.
Spain won it. So yeah.
Yeah, I still need to I need to get you the money. I will I will message the guy again, but we'll get you sorted. But yeah,
So
of course,
yeah,
sweepstake winner.
so
Viva
it's like
España.
yeah, nice to be here. And like anything, if you find out from other channels that I go on, I don't tend to like to know what the run sheet is and what I'm going to be asked, because if you do that, then you can prepare your answers. I'd rather be hit with questions and then I'm answering shooting from the hip. So, I'm looking forward to the show.
Yeah, man. We're gonna go from all the way from 20th. So first, gonna predict it all. Yeah, I will get that in. Yeah. Yeah, Chris. Hope you all well. Well, so Chris, be up yourself. For slow Liverpool fan and Carl. Not a good week for both of your clubs. So hopefully, it improves for Carl. Can't say I wanted to improve for Liverpool. So yeah. But yep, Ahmad also in the chat. Yep, Moss saying Arsenal, London is blue. Yeah, London is blue. Absolutely, um, absolutely. I will join. I will join soon. If I think I'm in it anyway. But yeah, yourself. Yeah, Abs won't be joining. He's busy with study work and just normal work stuff. So yeah, do smash a like on both channels. Hi Melina, hope you are doing well. Tomorrow 10 p.m. UK time. That might be too late for me because that's 11 p.m. my time. So that might be too late for me, but I don't know. Jose, you can message Jose if you guys want him on Spurs fan. So yeah. So yeah. More confident about Liverpool than bloody Carl. I don't know. You guys are in a bit of trouble, aren't you? So yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I will put it in that one as well. But let's let's get straight to it. So, people, if you want to sub to Jose's channel, I have put the link in the chat. The link is also in the description. So you guys can just click on it, go subscribe. Great Spurs channel and football channel in general. So yeah, but predicting from 20th to 1st, it is a hard task. It's a very hard task, and we will be taking it on. So let's start. 20th. Where do we start? Who's getting 20th place?
Well, do you know what I'm going to do? Because I didn't know we were doing this. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to find out who the 20 teams are in the Premiership. Because otherwise I'm going to be stuck. I'm going to be, what are we doing? Right.
I've also got the table up because I need to keep track of who's left because I need to make sure I don't miss a team. Um,
This is the table's not coming up. Why is the table not coming up? Oh,
um,
it's down here.
so yeah. Uh,
Right. Give me a second. I'll just bring the table up for myself.
so let me start 20th. Oh, I'm gonna go with the team that went up through the playoffs. Russell Martin's men, Southampton for me. 20th. Just not sub to a Spurs channel, so they need some success.
Well, it's not
They
just a
definitely
Spurs.
need.
Well, let me just make it clear. Yeah, fundamentally, it's a Spurs fan channel, but we welcome people from opposing
Yeah.
fans, any fans. So Hanno is a member. We've got Chelsea, we've got Arsenal, I've got Villa, we've got Wolves, we've got Brighton, we've got Leeds, we've got Sheffield United, we've got Wolves, we've got loads of people that support all different clubs. Forest as well. We've got loads of people that support different clubs that come in
Mm.
and have this say. And the community that we've got is not a toxic one, and you can have banter with each other. So just leaving it out there. No one needs to sub, but we are about everyone. So, but yeah, sorry, go on. You were saying 20th Leicester.
No, that's Chelsea fan. My 20th is
Oh, okay.
Southampton. Ross
You're
Martin.
going 20th Southampton, right? Okay. So do I have to go? Are you going for the 18th to the 20th, and then I do it, or am I doing the 20th as well?
You can do. I'll give you some time to think about it.
Okay.
Because you're still. So my 19th, I've gone for. What did I say? Um, I'm gonna say Leicester because they've lost a few players, of course. Kieran Dewsbury and a few others. They lost the manager. So for me, 19th Leicester, and then 18th for me is a coin flip between Ipswich and Forest, and I'm gonna be bold and say Ipswich will stay up and Forest to go down. My only reasoning is Ipswich have gotten I've not lost many players. They've added players. Um, and I think Forest, I don't rate Nuno. You will know Nuno how great he was. I just think he's not great enough to as good to make Forest stay up. But if anybody says anything different, I'm not gonna argue. So yeah, yours.
Right. So I'm going to start off with by saying I'm going to put a massive caveat in for when I do this to say that there are still um, 16 days, 17 days left of the window. And with that being said, and if everything's not been finalised, so what we say today is basically just based on where we are today and not where we could be by the end of the transfer window. Um, I'm going to caveat this as well by saying that I'm going to go straight with my predictions uh, as if there were no injuries whatsoever in the whole league, which we
Okay.
know injuries happen all the time. So there's massive caveats to doing this, and there's no exact science to this. I don't know anyone that gets the right order between 1 and 20. Um, so for me, the first team that I see being relegated in 20th position is Leicester City. I
Okay.
don't think Leicester City have invested and have grown um, the team since being promoted. They lost Dewsbury Hall, who was one of their focal points last season. Leicester had a massive blip, didn't they? And it became really tight in the race for the championship. It became really tight at under four teams. And if anything, the people that had or gathered the most steam towards the end of last season and has now made
Bigger,
some big buys is
bigger,
Southampton. So I'm going to go
yes,
Leicester for
bigger. So,
20th. I'm going to go Leicester for 20th. Right. 19th place. Who else came up? Leicester and Ipswich. Right. 19th place. I'm going to go for Brentford. And the
hmm,
reason why I'm going for Brentford is Brentford have not improved their squad at all. And the only and the striker they bought in to replace Tony, because Tony will go by the end of the window. And the
I
striker
think
they bought to replace Tony has got injured, right? And they've got Kevin Sade, who they bought from a German club a couple of years ago, but he hasn't really shown up in the Premiership yet. And I think they've got really good players in Vissa and
Bueno.
Embuemo, Embuemo and Vissa, but then they haven't got much backup to there. I think their midfield is ordinary, and I think defensively they can be guy out. And I just don't see Brentford have done any business whatsoever to help their cause. And Brentford
The,
were the team that were on the slide last year. They were the one that free fell right down the league. And it's only what they've
mm,
done earlier on in the season that made them stay up above the relegation zones. So Brentford are in
um,
free fall.
but the only reason I disagree with you on that is I don't think Tony goes. I think he only leaves next season.
But
I
he'll go
think
on
he
a free,
runs down his contract.
but they won't let him go on a free next year. They want the money for him, and that's the conundrum they've
So
got. They want the
yeah,
money for him.
we
Um,
will see.
so I'm going to go
Also,
Brent.
they did sign Fabio Cavallo. I don't know
Have
if
you,
you're right.
all right, yeah, no, I don't. He was an up and coming player for Fulham. He left Fulham, went to Chelsea. Sorry, to Liverpool. Didn't get into the side at all at Liverpool. Went on loan to the Championship to Hull. He done
Mm,
bits and pieces, but he did bits and pieces, and I think that's paying the 27.5 million for him. You're taking a big leap of faith with him. Um, and does he improve Brentford in the midfield or defensively? Because they haven't reinforced anywhere, Brentford, and that's the reason. And as I said, because
mm,
they were in free fall last season, they were in free fall. I don't know whether they pick up the form again. So I'm just going to go. I'm just going to throw it in, and I'm going to say Brentford. I'm going to give some of these teams that came up from the championship. I'm going to give them a chance.
no, that's
Although a good betting person would probably say that the odds are that the three that came up would you'd say that they'd be the three to go down. But I'm going to give a fighting chance to one of the teams because I think that they spent really well. So for me, 19th Brentford.
okay. Ipswich. I went there. Uh, so yeah, we
Um,
have abs. Yep, yourself. Um, so yeah, he dropped a sub. Come
Thank you
on.
very much,
Yep,
Abs, and I will
Jose
sub.
acknowledged.
I'll sub back to you because I sub to Arsenal channels as well. I've got no issue with other people. I really haven't. So, and that's why we welcome everyone into our
Mm,
chats. 18th, I think he plays really good football. He's got a stylish bat, and I think he's a great coach. Young coach, got a great young mind.
okay.
Um,
No, no.
and that's the Ipswich manager. But I don't
Yeah.
think Ipswich have enough to stay up. I think they've got some real good gems in young players that they've got there. And I think if they have a really good season, regardless if Ipswich go down, if they have a really good season, I could see a couple of their players being cherry picked by the bigger clubs if Ipswich go down this year.
Mm,
But I don't think that all three will stay up. And I'm going to go for Ipswich to be in 18th.
okay. Ipswich in 18. Fair enough. Um, is 19th Ipswich. I gone Ipswich. Just feel they summoned to Luton once. Injuries hit them. It affects them. Yeah, maybe. 18th Southampton. They've got the squad, but not convinced Martin is Premier League material, and I think that's where you might disagree. For me, I just think I don't know if they have the squad for the Premier League, like the full squad. So yeah, um,
Who's that? Are you talking about? Are you talking about Southampton now?
yeah.
Okay, but so you've picked your so my bottom three are Leicester, Brentford, Ipswich, and your bottom three are.
Southampton, Leicester, Forest.
All right, fair enough. Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah, I only went Forest because I don't rate Nuno, and I I don't know about the signings Forest have made. Um, so maybe they are. Who says Elliot Anderson? Yeah. So yeah.
So for me, Forest have got players. Forest have players, right? And some
Mm.
really, really good players, right? That I believe that
So
you know,
says-
that I believe at the end of the day, um, what that the other teams in the Premiership would like to have. I think Forest are far stronger than the three that have come up. Far, far stronger. And I'd say
yeah.
for me, obviously they're not in my the bottom three, so I'm rating Forest having a stronger squad than Brentford at the moment as well. Because obviously I haven't put Forest in my bottom three.
Mm. Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. Um. I'm saying Forest, Ipswich, Southampton. Okay. Forest, Ipswich, Southampton. So he put Southampton bottom, then Ipswich, then Forest. So he's got almost the same. I've just got Leicester instead of Ipswich, where he's got the. Yeah. So yeah. That's the thing. Be up to Henry versus City first. Who was saying he's a Forest fan, be up yourself, Henry. Hang on. Al Hannah. Um, yep, AFC always as always. All the way from Portugal, as I'm on the holidays. Oh, enjoy it, man. Enjoy Portugal. Um, so if anybody of you wants to come on, just message me and I'll send you the link. Um, so yeah, Heinekada, be up yourself. All the way from Jamaica. Unfortunately, supports the right side of Manchester. So yeah, but let's get it going with 17th so 14th. Now 17th. Chris says I had for 17th only surviving by the skin of their teeth, but could well go down to be honest. Um, and this is where I have Ipswich in 17th for this exact same reason. They could go down. So it's a 50-51 for me. Um, so yeah. Uh, then what do I have next? I can't remember. Who did you have in? Who do you have in 17?
I haven't yet. I'll tell you now though. 17th. So for 17th, I'm going to go for Southampton, and I'm only putting them there because I think they'll stay up. I'm going to put them 17th for now because I haven't really checked everybody. And the reason why I've got Southampton staying up on form last season, they were the form team in the Championship. If you look towards the running and the end of if you go for the last 10 to 15 games of the season, Southampton were the team on form. And not only were they on form, but Southampton have gone out and done bits and pieces. And I think that Southampton have both form and stronger squads than Ipswich and Leicester coming into this season. So I'm going to
No,
go for Southampton to survive. Out of the three of them, they're the ones that I'm going to give the survival hopes on. So I'm going to say 17th for Southampton.
Southampton. Let me check their signings. Who have they signings? Okay. Mm, so, who's around? Oh, they've actually made loads of signings, to be fair
Yeah,
to them.
that's what I'm saying. So what they've done is
Mm,
they've lost their strikers, haven't they? They lose both of their
mm,
strikers on free transfers. Shay Adams, I think, went on a free to Italy, and the other striker they had went on a free as well. I can't remember who the other one was, but they're both of their strikers have gone out on frees, so they had to go out and buy players. So they have gone.
mm,
It doesn't matter about the amount of money you've put into it, but obviously because they're going to get Premiership money this season, so they've gone out and they've improved their squad. And I'm basing it on
true.
form last seasons for them, for the three that are coming up. And for me, Southampton were the
Mhm,
form team towards the end of the season, and I think that they'll hit the ground running quicker than the other two. I mean, looking at the first
mm.
games of the season, doing it that way as well. If I look at the first games of the season, let me have a look again. I think,
Yeah, that's always king.
yeah, who? It's just your first game. Who you playing your first game of the season, because that then shapes after your first result. And Southampton are away. They're away to Newcastle. You've got Leicester at home to Spurs, and then you have Ipswich at home to Liverpool. So I don't think the fixture list has been kind to all three.
Mm,
But at the end of the day, Ipswich have got Liverpool. That's a tough tie for them. And Leicester have Tottenham, which would be a tough tie for them. And then obviously the second game of the season, they'll both be away, whereby Southampton start at Newcastle, but then they'll be at home second game of the season. So, there's always a chance there. But yeah, for me, 17th, am I going to straight to 14th? Or am I just doing one by one now?
if you have it down, you can.
I haven't got it down. I'm just writing off the sheet. So I'm just doing it off the sheet as I look at the teams on the league.
Um, let me just get the next predictions. What was it? Oh, we did. We did. Yeah, we signed Enzo from Portugal, from the
Yeah.
Portuguese league, but we haven't signed a Portuguese international. No, we did. We signed Felix. What am I talking about? I'm probably gonna sign him again. 17th Southampton, 16th Wolves, 15th Everton. Yeah, Ipswich is 50-50, but I don't know, man. Maybe not. Um, 14th Bournemouth. Be up yourself, King. King, if you have got time, same with you, Ricardo or Chris.
So
Got
I'm gonna
time.
go. I'll go 16th, right? And 16th,
Okay, go on.
I'm gonna go Fulham. I think Fulham have lost João Paulinho,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they haven't replaced. And Fulham had quite a few players on loan last season that didn't work out for them. Um,
Mm,
so I think with losing Paulinho, they lose the heartbeat in the engine room for Fulham. Tim Ream's gone to America, left and gone to America, and I think they've got a really good young striker in that Muniz. I think he's a really good young striker. But Willian will be 36 next season. Um, so for me, I see Fulham and Marco Silva. I see them struggling. They'll stay up, but I see them struggling. I'm going to put Fulham 16th,
okay.
just above Fulham in 15th. I'm going to go for Everton. I don't think Everton have done lots of bits and pieces either, but they've got a manager who knows the Premier League. They've got a manager who probably had one of the best defensive records last season at Everton. Um, Everton haven't gone out and bought loads of players. They haven't lost many players either. They haven't. Onana's left them, but I just think that Sean Dyche finds a way. And defensively, they're a very stout team to play against. They don't concede much. They're one of the most powerful teams in the air. They like the physicality, and in the air, I think they're one of the most powerful teams. So I'm going to go for Everton to land in 15th. And then my team that lands in 14th is going to be Andre Iriola's team, Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth will land 14th. I think losing Solanke, because we're talking now, I don't know whether they're going to I don't know who they're going to bring in as a striker because they've got 17 days. There's talks about Nketiah, there's talks about Tammy Abraham, and there's talks about all these types of players. But at the moment, without Solanke, they haven't got a focal point there. But I think they've got some good wingers
Mhm.
in Semenyo. Um, Clivert plays in the hole, didn't he? He plays in the 10, he plays in the hole for him, but he plays out wide, but he likes to play in the hole. I think they've got some good young players there, wide players in that. In the midfield, they've got the American chap that they bought, Tyler Adams, that they bought from Leeds, who was injured all of last season, but on his day, he's a really good protector. I think centre back they got that Zabani, who is a really really young Ukrainian international, who's a really good defender. Um, I think Bournemouth and Iriala plays a good style of football as well. I like the football he plays. So for Iriala, I'm going to say that Bournemouth finished 14th.
Okay. So I have gone with, of course, Ipswich in 17th. Then I've gone for Bournemouth in 16th. I think replacing all of that goals from Solanke is the big thing, um, in my opinion, because I think he scored at least plus, like 10 goals plus.
Who's that?
Um, Solanke
He got 19
in,
league goals last season.
yeah, 19 league goals.
Yeah.
So how are you going to replace 19 league goals? And you spoke there about Nketiah, Abraham. I don't think they're as good as Solanke. So yeah, and then 15th after year. Mm, I've got a team in front of. I don't know if I should change it. No, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna say Everton in 15th. We agree on that. Reason being is I would put them higher, but I think losing Onana, and Onana played most of their games. He played 30 of 30, 30 games for them. Um, so I think losing him and they haven't replaced him properly, I think that will bite into their downfall a bit. And then Brentford in 14 for me. Like I say, I on my basis, I don't think he's leaving because the striker that they replaced him with is gone. So I don't think Brentford will be selling him. I think he might leave on a free, or he sounds like a 1 year deal and gets Brentford money next season. Um, so yeah, that's for me. And then yeah, just doing till 14th. So
Okay.
I've got
Are you
Ipswich
writing these down?
17th.
Because I can't remember. I've got Leicester 20th, Brentford 19th, Ipswich 18th, Southampton 17th. I can't remember the rest of the teams I did now.
1 second. What did you have, 20th?
I've got Leicester, Brentford,
Leicester
Ipswich, Southampton in 17th.
and Brentford.
I know I had Fulham.
Ipswich.
Did I have Fulham
Yeah,
after Southampton? So I had Fulham.
yeah, Southampton.
2019, 18, 17. So I had
Fulham.
16. Right,
You
Fulham,
had
and then
Bournemouth in 14th.
so I had
No,
Everton,
you
and
had
then
Bournemouth.
Everton, and then I had Bournemouth. Okay, I now
Yeah.
know where I am.
So 20,
Lovely.
19, 18, 17, 16, 14,
2019,
16,
18,
15,
17,
14.
16,
Yes.
15, 14. Yeah, I've got mine. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get to the chat in a second. If you disagree, anybody in the chat, do feel like there's a wild shout. Do challenge our predictions. 16th. 1 second. 15th. 14th. Okay. Who's Southampton 18th, 19th, Ipswich 20th, Leicester. Okay. 16th, Brentford. Odd one with them, to be honest. They they got goals, I feel, without Tony, but they've had enough seasons in the Premier League. I do see start of a drop off every season. Yeah, they do drop off. 14th, Bournemouth. 15th, Bournemouth. Lost Solanke, which is a chunk of their goals, but Iriolas have achieved with that squad. That squad on Pepe's championship, but done well to stay up. Yeah, agreed. 14th, Crystal Palace. People gone them to do well. Palace or Palace for me, either way. Start badly, then sack manager, then stay up or get to 40 points. Get the beach Chelsea. Maybe. Oh, yeah, also Neto is Portuguese as well. Okay, I forgot. Neto, we signed Neto, he's also Portuguese. Chris. There's a big chance Leicester will get points deduction. They've also, uh, yeah, with the, what do you mean, also have power issues? I think you mean, player issues, I think. Oh, I'm not sure. But Allison is not ambitious enough. Fair enough. Yeah, we'll put the link in there again. 13th till 9th. Then, 13th, I'll do my 13th to 9th. 13th, I've gone for Fulham in 13th. Now, I'm gonna switch here. I'm gonna do a switch in my originals. Wait, let me first check where did they finish last season? Let me first check that because that's important. If I do the switch, where did Wolves? Who finished 14th? Okay, no. Where did Brighton finish? 11th. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say Fulham 13th, Brighton 12th, and Wolves 11th. Crystal Palace 10th, and then West Ham United in 9th. I would put West Ham higher, but I don't rate the manager, which is
Lopetegui.
yeah, Lopetegui. I don't rate him, especially after his stints in at Wolves. I don't rate him, so yeah. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna say Brighton. Then yours.
Right, I've
Also,
got
Brighton. Why I've put them there is they've got the youngest manager, in the league. So yeah. Yes, Moss. Yes, Moss. Yeah, my team is gonna do better, especially. My predictions always better too, but two top Premier Championship. I think most. Yeah. No, I done well this in the championship last weekend. The predictions. So yeah. 13 Fulham, 12 Brentford, 11th Crystal Palace, 10th Brighton. Okay. Yours.
13th. I'm going Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
I just think that they have a really good. I think they've got really good players. They have they've not only got good players, but for me, they've got goals. So in the wingers, in the Langa, Hudson Odoi, you got players there that can provide ammunition. They got Chris Wood or Awoyimni up front that will score goals. And in midfield, they got the big guy they bought last year from France, and I can't remember his name now. I think Sangare. Sangare. He had a year to bed in. I think Sangare can be a monster six for them. I just see,
Mm.
and when Nuno played a 3-4-3 system in at Wolves, when Nuno was the Valencia manager, he played a more attacking formation. And I think it's the players that dictated the formations that he played. And I just think that with Forest have a team, and they've also got Morgan Gibbs White as well. Forest have a team that can attack and could be potent and can score goals. And I just think a year in, because you've got to remember that Forest also have got an owner that is not as rich as Todd Bowley in that, but got an owner that when they went up, he went and bought 35 players. So, and just went and bought loads of players. And I think that Forest have now had 2 seasons in the league. Um, they've ironed out the issues of who they see as in their squad and players that they've released. And I just feel that they've got players that can attack. And I mean, let's face it, if if Forest were to go down, people would be sniffing for Abu Yimni. People would be sniffing for Hudson Odoi.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's a
Alanga,
gun.
Morgan Gibbs White, all these players would be sniffed at and they'd be taken and poached by other clubs. I just think that the system that he plays at Forest is not negative as when he played with a system of 3-4-3 at Wolves. And I just think he's got some really good players there. And I think Forest. What I will say for me, I think the league's going to squeeze up. Does that make any sense? It's going to squeeze up. So I don't think you're going to have runaway champions. And I don't think you're going to have. I think the points in between clubs. I think the league
Mm,
squeezes up itself, and so therefore, equally, any of these teams that we're picking to finish between 13th and 9th could hypothetically, I could go for someone not for 9th and they'll finish 13th. I could go for someone finishing 12th and they'll finish 9th. So I just think that there's
mm.
going to be swings
No.
and roundabouts, and the caveats come in on people having injuries and what players are going to buy between now and the end of the transfer window.
Mm,
Who they buy in the winter. There's a lot of different things. So for me, Forest for 13th. I've then got Brighton for 12th. And the reason why I say I think I like Brighton's model, I think they've got some really good young talent, but they've also got a new young manager who's never done it in the Premiership.
mm,
And so for me, you're going to be coaching a team, which is good in a sense because he's very young. He's only 32, I think, the manager. But they've got some good young players. But I think that it's going to be a transitional season for Brighton. They've lost Pascal Gross. They've lost Adam Lallana. So some of the older heads that could have calmed situations down have now left Brighton. So I think it'll be a transition season for Brighton. Um, and it'll be a season again that if some of their players perform well, because Brighton's model is to sell a couple of players every year. If their players play well, then there'll be a couple of players that will be able to leave next year, and one of them for me will be Matoma. I think Matoma's the next player out of Brighton if he has a good season this season. 11th, I've gone for Wolves. I think Gary O'Neill is a superb manager. Wolves haven't bought tons, and I think Wolves have bought a few players, 2 or 3 players of note. They've lost Neto, obviously. They've managed to keep Huang Li Chang, which I think is important. I think they've still got a 6'9" striker, Sasa Hasadalic, still there. They've got João Neves. They've got Mateus Cunha still playing for them. So I think it's going to be. And as I said, they've lost Kilman, but I like the manager. I think Gary O'Neill sets his teams up well. I think Gary O'Neill has a game plan for every team he plays against, whether he wins or loses, and he changes it up. And I think he's a good coach, a good young coach, and I do rate him. Um, and the team that I've got, that's 14, 30. Do we do 13 to 9th? 13, 12, 11 Wolves. 10th, I've got West Ham. And the reason why I've
okay.
got West Ham 10th is everybody is raving about West Ham and the signings. They've won the transfer window and stuff like that. I don't think they have. I think defensively they've improved. So where they've bought Aaron Wan-Bissaka, does he get in front of Soufal? Possibly,
Yes.
right? And they've bought Max Kilman and they've bought Jean-Claire Todibo. Do they get in front of Kurt Zuma? Because remember, Kurt Zuma is the club captain. So do they get in front of Kurt Zuma and
I
Nayed
think to
Nayed?
be I think it will be Zuma and Tudebo, and then club captain, and
Zuma's
then
their
Max
Zuma's their club.
Hillman,
Yeah, but what about
and then Zuma.
what about Naya Guard? They've got there as what centre back. So this is what I'm saying. I think defensively they bought
Now
well.
a good is CDM that can play centre back.
He's a centre back. Naya Guard is the centre back for West Ham. He's Zuma's partner, or was last season. Zuma has gone. Zuma hasn't left. Zuma's still there. Kurt Zuma is still at West Ham. Kurt Zuma hasn't gone anywhere.
Let's check. Mm, yeah, no, he was on his way
The,
to the UAE,
the
but he failed
departures,
his medical.
yeah, the departures are Flynn Downs has left West Ham and he's gone to Southampton. Said Barama has gone to Olympique Lyon.
Mm.
Tilo Kera has gone to Monaco. Ben Johnson went on a free, and that's it. They're the players that have gone. So yeah, the other players haven't left. They've bought a backup goalkeeper in West Foderingham who will probably end up being their number 3 goalkeeper because he's no great shakes. They've bought
Mm.
a defensive midfielder, 30 years old, of Guido Rodriguez, who had in and out seasons at Real Betis. That's why Betis never gave him a further contract, and he's come to them on a free. They've bought Luis Guillermo, who's a winger, who's a very young chap. So he's not going to walk straight into the first team because in the first team, the wingers are going to be Jared Bowen and Mohamed Kudus. So I don't see Guillermo
I
getting in
think,
front.
but I think they've improved the squad overall. I think
Yeah,
that
the squad's
is
improved. It
where.
hasn't improved. The starting 11. So Crescenzo Somerville, he won't play in front of Kudus and he won't play in front of Bowen. And then they've also
Mm.
bought Nicholas Fulkrug, who is the centre forward from the German centre forward, who had one good season, and that was last season for Borussia Dortmund. Before that, Nicholas Fulkrug had been a journeyman footballer in Germany, and therefore I think that the difference is that people or defenders here in the Premier League they can bully strikers as well. Sorry, everyone. Hanno's gone. Hanno's probably got some issues with his setup, and he'll come back and join us because it's his studio, and he will come back and then after West Ham, I think ninth we said, didn't we? And ninth, I've gone for Crystal Palace, and the reason why I'm going for Crystal Palace at ninth is as we speak today, the only player that they've sold is Elise. They've made 2 signings. They bought Ismail Assar and they bought Kamada in. So there's talk about Guehi going to Newcastle. There's talk about Anderson going to, is it Fulham? Ah, you're back. Hello, mate.
Yeah.
so you
So sorry, the laptop just
okay?
was.
So I'm on ninth now. I've gone for Crystal Palace, and the reason why I've gone for that is because the only player that's left at the moment is Elise. There is talk about
Mm.
Guehi to Newcastle, Anderson, I think, to Fulham or someone like that. And there's also talk about Eze going. Now, the one thing I will say is that Crystal Palace have a
Yeah, Tony.
top. Crystal Palace have a top manager. Glasner is a superb tactician and a superb manager. He turned round Crystal Palace when he came. He put them into a different system, and he changed them around completely. And for me, uh, Crystal Palace, if they sell these players, they'll have money to burn. I know they'll obviously have a plan, but I feel that because he sets up his teams really well, Crystal Palace were probably one of the form teams towards the end of the season last season, or the second half of the season at least. And I just think he sets up his team so well that I'm going to plump for Crystal Palace to finish ninth. But again, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Wolves, Brighton, Notts Forest, all these teams could be, you could put them in a washing machine and get a different result of 13th to ninth.
Mm. No, you can. You absolutely can. Was like that comment. I think fourth you can because you can put anybody. It's. I don't think it's quality. I think all of the teams are. I don't say quality. All of the teams are on a low quality. That's why. Brighton always replaced their manager as well. To be fair, sacked Newton. Got Potter. Potter leaves. They get the Zerbi. According to James Owner, the new manager, so it's like clubs slightly. Again, I don't know. Oh, well-run club. I don't see them having many issues. Maybe I just don't think.
Tony
Youngest
Bloom
manager
is
in
their
the Premier League.
yeah. Tony Bloom is their chairman. Does that? They run the club. There's a model that they've got, and they run it exactly to that model.
Yeah, no, they would be Everton. Yes, Fulham lost Polinia, but always a hard place to go to. They are another team who will get to 40 points and get the beach out. Maybe I don't know. I think Marco Silva is a decent manager. I just think Polinia that because they haven't replaced him, that's a big key. Wolves are Wolves. I think Wolves. You put Wolves 13th. I think it could also be down to Neto not being there. So yeah, West Ham always make good signings on paper. Lopetegui and the owners manage marriage, maybe. Oh, in my opinion. Yeah, no, Melina did tell me. And I don't think I can come on, but I will let you guys know. Yeah, he's looking as good for Fulham as well, but again, he's on the attacking front, not the defensive end. I think they will be having problems. Be up, Tony, as always. Be up yourself on Waffle TV. People, do make sure to subscribe to Waffle TV as well. Get him to 200. Do subscribe to not Joe, Jose. Um, so yeah. Um, and then we have got eighth till fourth. Now this is the juicy part, and this is where you might not like me again.
You
Because
may not
we
like
also
me
need.
either.
Uh,
I'm
but
ready. I'm ready. I've got my eighth to fourth.
okay, yeah, I'm ready as well. So eighth, uh, it's um, it's Tottenham Hotspur.
Fair enough.
Seventh, Manchester United.
Why is eighth Tottenham? Why is Man United seventh? Give me some context around what your thoughts are.
Um,
And
Thoughts.
for
So
the rest of these teams, what your context is, because that's easy. It's good to understand that.
okay, so eighth Tottenham. I think if Solanke improves you really well, but I don't know if your squad what it will be able to last another season under Ange Ball, as well as I think people know how to play again against Ange now, where they didn't know at the start of the season last year, where you got most of your points in that bulk, where you were like top of the league, and I think if we take half of those points, I think you drop lower, down. I think that's the reason, and I'm not sure on your midfield and defense. I think midfield wise, if if you don't sign a midfielder, I think you're gonna get exposed again, like you did towards the end of the season. And then United, I'm putting United seventh because I think their defense will be strong enough this season. I think their defense will be better than last season. That's why I think I'll boost them up that one spot. Um, but it can easily change. If Tottenham sign a midfielder, I can easily swap Tottenham, put them maybe higher.
Yeah, but at the
I
end of the day,
also think,
we did caveat this, didn't we, both of us, and we said that at the moment, we're picking where we are
mm,
today because a lot of things can still happen between now and the transfer
mm,
window closing. So
and
we can only pick the selections where we are today, isn't it? So
mm, and Chris has also put Tottenham eighth. They always score goals, no issues with that at hand. But I'm sorry, defensively so wide open. Now it's Ansel, but Poro, Udogi are wing backs, and two back three with wing backs. Yeah, both of you won't like me. So no, I think yeah, Spurs eight. So again, yeah, obviously Ange don't change formations, but if Spurs did go back three with wing backs, they have Spurs in a race for fourth. Yeah, I think so. I also think so. And also, you don't have depth. Like, wing on that, your fullback positions, you don't have depth. Um, that's another problem. But my point is, you score goals, yeah, that's fine. It's your midfield and your defense for me. And I think people might have figured out how to how to play against Ange, but yeah. And then, like I said, United seventh. I just think defense, you've got your Masraoui, I think is better than Aaron Bissaka. You've got Delit, you've got Euro, um, and I think that boosts them up to seventh. If they sign a few midfielders, like I say, goes long, long way clear. Um, but yeah, um, so seventh, Chelsea. That's fair enough. I can see us finishing seventh. Long term, I think Chelsea will be successful. I don't rate Mariska as a manager. Kept Poch, I would have Chelsea fourth to be honest, but just feel be the same as last season. For me, where I will get to Chelsea and where I put them is a case of I, I believe in Mariska and I think the system will click um, soon. Um, but sixth, I've gone Newcastle United. I think they will improve from their seventh position because of the amount of injuries they got last season. I think, of course, that won't be the same. Um, and they get Tonali back somewhere during the season. So I personally think with that they should improve a bit. And especially with no European football. And also that's another reason why I think Tottenham could finish lower because of your European football. More football could mean more injuries for you guys. Um, because if we look at the stuff for Newcastle, signings made, they didn't really make loads. They signed a goalkeeper. Of course, Lewis Hall, they signed on a permanent deal. They signed William Osloa, Lloyd Kelly, decent, and John Ruddy. So, yeah. Yeah. Um, and I think Yankuba Mente to Brighton could be, right winger could be depth that they might need. And then fifth, I've gone for Chelsea. Again, I can't see us finishing anywhere from 10th till 4th. Um, because it, for me, it's when and if the system clicks. I think the system will click, and second half of the season we will improve and go on the upward trajectory. And I think we have improved our squad a tiny bit, but with the signings of Neto and Kieran Dewsbury. And then I've gone with Liverpool in fourth. Liverpool in fourth is just off the basis that I think they they have not signed anybody, and I think um, Arne Slot is a worse manager. Well, I know he's a worse manager than Klopp. I have this feeling they will finish lower than fourth, but I just don't know if they have if there's a team other than them that have the talent, that have the players to get there. So yeah, that's mine. Tottenham, United, Newcastle, Chelsea, Liverpool. Yours.
My turn. Right.
Yeah,
In
yours.
eighth place, I have Aston Villa.
Okay, your
I
turn.
think like the season before with Newcastle, I think Villa will struggle being in the Champions League. This is not Europa or Conference; it's Champions League, and I think Villa will struggle in the Champions League and in the league running both them competitions. I look at the people are going to turn around and say they had an exciting and great window. I do not see that window at all being exciting and great. They've lost two fantastic players that netted them circa £100 million. And with them £100 million, they've gone out and they've bulked the squad by bringing 8 players in. But do them 8 players take you to the next level? And the next level is, do Villa go beyond fourth? Do Villa fight for fourth? And do Villa fight for the Champions League? Well, at the end of the day, getting in Amadou Nanana, I didn't think he was electrifying at all at Everton. Is he better than Douglas Luiz? I don't believe he is. They've bought Ian Matson to play as left back or to compete for the left back position, but they're already stocked in that position because they've got Lucas Digne and there's another left back they've got there already. So they're stocked in that position. So I'm just surprised why they've got 3 left backs now. I look at Cameron Archer, who was at Sheffield United. I don't know, was he on loan at Sheffield United? But they brought Cameron Archer in. Jaden Philogene from Hull. I don't see Jaden Philogene getting in the side in front of Leon Bailey, but who knows? They bought Samuel Illing Jr., who's not tried and tested in the Premiership, who's come from Juventus. I got Lewis Dobbin when they did the horse trading before the 30th of June in order to get around PFP or PSR and that. They did horse trading to get Lewis Dobbin, and it's interesting because they paid Lewis Dobbin 11 11.8 million euros to bring in Lewis Dobbin. If you look on transfer
Mm,
market, I think Lewis Dobbin is probably worth 1 million euros. So you can see the horse trading that was done there. So was that a good signing for Aston Villa? They just did it to get around PFP. Then they brought in Enzo Baranchea from Juventus. He was part of the deal of the Luis Diaz. I don't think he's that great, and he weren't that great at Juventus. They bought Ross Barkley. He's shrewd because he adds depth into their midfield, and he had a good season last season. Uh, they've bought in Morgan Sanson. I know that was a loan that went out. So they're the players they bought in. I don't think that with the 8 players that they've bought in, and the 2 they let go was to get money in order to fund to get the other 8 in. And for me, I don't think Villa will fight on all fronts. I think Villa will come crashing down. I think they've got a great manager. In Unai Emery because I think Emery's a master tactician. He was treated unfairly at Arsenal because I think he would have done bits and pieces at Arsenal. Um, so yeah, so at the end of the day, I'm going to put Villa eighth. I just think they're going to be the Newcastle of this season and struggle being in the European Champions League. In seventh, I've gone for
Fair enough.
Newcastle. But can I say, and I'm going to caveat this again, from eighth to fourth, you could have a washing machine effect again. It could be anybody. Yeah.
No,
So
yeah, spot
so
on, spot on.
because the transfer window hasn't closed yet, anybody can be between eighth and fourth. I can pick eighth till fourth, but there's going to be a lot of machine uh, turning. Right. So Newcastle, I've put them in seventh. Newcastle for me have got one of the thinnest squads in the league. And at the end of the day, they struggled last year because they had a thin squad and they were in Europe. Oh, okay, they're not in Europe this year, but still their squad, even for the Premier League, is ultra thin. They get an injury in one position, especially defensively, then they're all over the place. Now, Botman's still out injured. He had an ACL, isn't he? So he's still out injured. And when he comes back, he's not going to be 100. He ain't going to be 100 for until about a
And
year after he comes back.
Lascelles is also still out.
Who? Lascelles.
Uh,
Lascelles.
yeah,
Lascelles.
Jamal
Yeah. Lascelles.
Lascelles.
So you right? Kieran Trippier's getting on, and he's getting injury prone. Yeah. Um. Dan Burn can do a job for you at left back, but he isn't. The left back
And
that they need.
I think that's why they're gonna use what's it Lewis Holder.
Lewis who? Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall.
Yeah, but they had Lewis Hall there last year as well, Hannah, and he wasn't given many chances at all last year, was he? And he was there last
Mm.
season as well. I thought Lewis Hall looked good at Chelsea before he went to, in the few appearances he made for Chelsea, I thought he looked good before he went to Newcastle. But Newcastle didn't utilise him. They had an obligation to buy because it was a loan with the ob to buy. So Lewis Hall had to then sign for Newcastle. Hopefully it will get used, but I just see frailties in Newcastle, especially defensively, because their defenders are injury prone. And they haven't bought anything for me to say, do you know what? They're going to go to that next level. Not at the moment, as we speak today. So that's the reason why I put Newcastle there. I've then got Chelsea in sixth. And Chelsea could go up or down from sixth, right? And it's all dependent. But my thoughts are, but like I said to you before the show, when we was having a chat, is the Chelsea players have said how hard this pre-season has been to try
Yeah.
and understand Maresca's football. So we're talking about people that their profession is professional footballers, and they can't understand what the manager's tactics are and what he's trying to get through to them. And this is what the players are saying, right? Now, Maresca is a Pep disciple. He's got a way of playing, and again, he's untried in the Premiership, right? Chelsea, for their sins, they might have all the money bags in the world, and I think you've got something like 43 players in your first team squad, and 9 of them are goalkeepers. The thing's a complete mess. You've gone and bought Pedro Neto. Now, Pedro Neto, an injury free Pedro Neto, who's fully recovered from his hamstring issues, is worth £100 million in my eyes. Not 50 odd that you paid for him, but £100 million in my eyes. So whoever bought Pedro Neto this year is taking a big punt, because I think Arsenal inquired about him, Tottenham inquired about him. I think Man City had tentative conversations about him. So all the clubs wanted or talked about Neto, but the people that put their money down on him were Chelsea. Now with Neto's out on the right, and I think it completely messes up what you have there, because you've got Noni Madueke who plays out from there. Cole
Mm.
Palmer plays out from the right if you're going to use Nkunku as your 10, or if not, you use if you're using Cole Palmer as a 10, where does Nkunku then go? Yeah, you've got
For
Sterling, who's got Sterling and Modric. There's going to be players surplus to requirements. So Chelsea are going to have to move some players out, you know. And at the
mm.
end of the day, at the end of the day, uh, defensively as well, just to finish off what I said to you earlier, defensively as well, Chelsea have got to stay clear of injuries in defence, because if they get injuries in defence, then you're kind of stuck, because your captain Reece James is injured, was injured last season and the season before, so he's injury prone. Your left back in Chilwell, injury prone, hasn't come back and been the same player that you bought from Leicester when he first went to Chelsea. And then your two centre halves in Wesley Fofana and Lewis Coville. Lewis Coville? Coville, Levi Coville, whatever his name is. They've both been injured as
Leave
well.
a cold, yeah.
Levi Coville. They've both been injured as well. And at the end of the day, it looks like you got frailties in defence. And then at the end of the day, the person who I thought played best for Chelsea last year in defence, or who was the person who for me was always getting a 7 or 8 out of 10 for Chelsea, is the guy that you've banished to play with the kids, Trevor Chalobah.
Mm.
He for me was a seven or
Um,
eight out of 10 every time he played, and now he's been banished to play with the kids. You then have your other boy Gallagher, who I turned around and said to you earlier before the show started. For me, Gallagher was the player of the season at Chelsea. It's only because Cole Palmer stepped up in the second half of the season and got goals that people are going to rate Palmer. But the common denominator for 37 out of 38 games was Gallagher in that midfield. And he's been banished to play with the youngsters as well. And to me, Chelsea seem to be messed up at the moment. And I think Chelsea needs to sort out their internal issues. And then if they did that, and if you had a squad and you knew what your squad was going to be, and people take on board what the manager's doing straight away, then Chelsea could finish in a different position to what I'm actually saying. But for me, I just think there's too many balls up in the air to juggle at the moment. So for me, I've got Chelsea in sixth. I've put Man
okay.
United, but please remember, everyone that's watching, this can all change. You can put this in a washing machine and change, because transfers can change all this, and then basically injuries throughout the season can change all what we're saying as well. But in fifth, I've gone for Man United, and that's not to say that Man United are better than Chelsea, Newcastle, or Aston Villa, right? I just put Man United there because I feel that Man United, with the emergence of Amad Diallo playing on the right, Garnacho playing on the left, or Rashford playing on the left, it, they'll probably play Rashford down the middle now because they've lost Hoyland. But I look at Man United and I think attacking wise, Kobe Mainoo is a good player. Attacking wise, Bruno Fernandes, the biggest assister in the whole of the Premier League, that they've got people to attack. Defensively, though, you said defensively Man United will be stronger. I don't believe they will, because Nazarawi plays left back, right?
Mm.
And Nazarawi's come in, and is he better than Luke Shaw? I don't think he is. I think Luke Shaw's a better player. Okay, Luke Shaw's not fit for the start of the season, but he's a better player. They bought Lemmy Yoro, who's now injured till at least January till 2025. He's going to be injured. He looks a decent prospect at 18 years of age. But they've brought in a Matthias de Ligt to play centre back. Matthias de Ligt has played either 50% or less games in 2 years at Bayern, 50% or less games in 2 years at Juve. So you've got Ten Hag signing players that played for him that were at their peak of their powers when they played for Ajax. But Mazarawi and De Ligt are nowhere near the players that they were when they played for Ajax. So I'm not going to turn around and say that I think they've improved that well. I think goal wise, I think they could score goals, but defensively, like last season, it
I,
was a knife through butter with Man United, and I think that Man United can be opened up quite comfortably, but they can probably score a lot of goals as well.
I don't think they will score loads of goals because who is there that scores goals?
Well, as I said,
Because
I think Hoyland second season, because he's had his first season. You got Rashford who can score goals. They got Garnacho who can score goals.
Rashford, one good
Ahmed
season.
Ahmed Diallo. So Ahmed Diallo is one of Manchester United's own players. He's come to the fore late last season to the party. He's been included in pre-season and he's done really well in pre-season. And he will start over Anthony. Man United know they're not going to get the money back for Anthony, and in order to keep a resale value of him, they were prepared to let um, Anthony go out on loan this season. And Joshua
Mm.
Zirkzee, who they signed, right? Because I've just seen Chris, I've seen you put a comment in there. Joshua Zirkzee, they've signed him, and Ten Hag has already admitted that it's going to take a while for him to put Zirkzee in the team because Zirkzee needs to learn the Premiership. So they've gone and spent that money on Joshua Zirkzee, and now he's come out and said it's going to be a while before you see him play in the Premiership.
Mm. No. So yeah. Mastroianni always looked vulnerable to me when I've watched him. It reminds to be seen if he's a real deal. People still only know him off FIFA with high potential. That's it. South Korean is waiting for you, man, fans. I think they get ruled second half of the season. Not gonna lie, with Van Nistelrooy. Yeah, he is, absolutely is. Before I trust um, but just don't need to lower it down on signings because I feel not needed to make some pointless signings. Chelsea issue is always a track, and that's the case. I think on that, it's the model that they're trying to build. They're trying to sign all these young guys and trying to find the next one to get. That's the thing. So yeah, if we get a world class forward, I will move them to sixth, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, man. Jose is a real one. He's a real one, man. I do know you need to go soon. I will quickly run through. Todd Bowley have always said about him for years. He goes into the transfer window like it's lockdown raiding all groceries in supermarkets. Very true. It will be Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson will start up top. Don't you stress. Cole could be good. I don't. If you play him center, he can't defend the wide areas, Cole. That's
So
why.
did you say who was fourth for you?
Four for me is Liverpool.
Okay, so fourth for me. Sorry, I didn't say it. Fourth for me is Tottenham. And the reason why I've gone
Tottenham.
for Tottenham
Okay.
for fourth, the reason why I've gone for Tottenham for fourth, and I'm going to say it's based on blind faith here, but the stats show that
Okay.
Ange improves all the teams that he's been at in their second season. For me, the only positive I can say is that the players that we've got have played with Ange last season, so they're now understanding him. And the pre-season we've had, which is a proper one, because last year was awful, it wasn't a pre-season, it was actually a circus and a show. Uh,
Mhm.
with the pre-season behind us now, I think that we will surprise a few teams this year more so than what we did last year. I don't think we'll tail off like we did last year. I think we'll be stronger this year. I'm not saying that we're going to get the magic start that we had last season, but the league is about a whole season and not about what you do in the first 10 games or what you do in the second 10 games or the third 10 games or the last day. It's what you do over a season. And I just think that we'll have more longevity about us this season. Last season, our longevity went by Christmas. So that's the reason why I've got us as fourth. Sorry, I forgot to say that because I know that we've got to do the top three.
No worries. Yeah, I get your point on improving second season. Maybe that's the case, but I just think lack of signings. Um, but just quickly confirm if you had
Confirming what?
just
Sorry?
just confirm the eighth to fourth. If you had
Aston Villa,
Villa, yeah.
Newcastle, Chelsea, Man U, Tottenham.
Okay, Newcastle, Chelsea. Okay, I'm not too upset about that.
But like I said, honestly, to
No.
everyone that's watching,
Mm,
we could put these teams into a washing machine. We could put all these teams into a
mm,
tombola and pick them out, and you get different permutations. I just think everyone's going to be
mm,
much of a muchness.
okay. Yeah. I will let you go first because I know you need to go soon.
So my
Um.
first to third are the same three that finished last season. I think
Okay.
Arnie
So.
Slot. He's coming to the Premiership, so he's untried and untested. But Arnie Slot, talent ID manager, is second to none. He's absolutely brilliant at talent ID. He does things, and he's a coach that improves every player that goes under his wing. Now, I think the reason why Liverpool haven't done any bits and pieces is because they've gone out and they've bought themselves a brand new back office team, and that new technical directors and new people like that. They've brought Paul Mitchell back and people like that back to the club. But I think, in all honesty, if you're going in as a manager and you inherit the squad that Liverpool have got, you've inherited a really, really good squad. So, at the end of the day, and with the youngsters they've got coming through as well that stepped up for them last year, like your Connor Bradleys, um, the centre back, Jarell Kwanzaa, they've got youngsters as well to pad up that first team, to pad up that squad. I think he's walked into a really, really good squad, and I just think that as a coach, he will get the best out of these players, and he will coach these players,
Mm.
and they will become better players. Um, I just think that because they haven't lost players this season, I just think their squad's still strong enough to stay in third place. Second place, I'm going for Arsenal again. And the only reason why I'm going for Arsenal in second is because Man City have been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt and that. But equally, me saying that, Manchester City I could have also put Manchester City 20th because obviously they are going through a court hearing that starts in a couple of weeks' time, and by sometime in the new year, they could end up getting relegated. So what we're talking about here means absolutely nothing. So equally, I could have put him at 20th. Did you know? I'm not a betting man, but did you know that Manchester City are currently favourites to win the league? And I can't remember the price now, but they are favourites to win the league. But equally, they are 8-1 to be relegated. So already the bookie firms are mitigating themselves straight away, and they've already got them down as 8-1. So someone like Manchester City would be something like 5,000-1 to be relegated. They're currently 8-1 because people think there's something coming around the corner. Hello, we got someone there.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Okay. So yeah. So that's the reason for Arsenal. I'm just saying nothing against Arsenal. I just think Man City have been there, got the T-shirt. At the end of the day, they've let Alvarez go. They've probably got money to buy players from now to the end of the season, but I think they're relying on people like Oscar Bob to come through now. Um, They've got Rico Lewis coming through now. They've got that McAtee in midfield now. Look really good in pre-season. He's a tall guy that
Um,
they've got in midfield.
break. By the way, I don't know if you see it, but apparently Oscar Bobas was in with crutches, broken leg injury.
Seriously? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
they've got others. They've got others as well. They've got Micah. I can't remember his surname now. The winger as well.
Uh,
So they've got some really good youngsters that have come through and have started getting first team minutes. And at the end of the day, um, he's just got a way of winning, isn't the Man City just got a way of winning. Whether they've done it rightly or wrongly, that remains to be seen. But I just think to myself that Man City, because they've been there, they've seen the course, and they've done it many and multiple times. I mean, it gets boring if the same team wins the league all the time, but that's what we're up against. I'm afraid, as everyone else in the league, you're up against Man City. Arsenal. Um, I don't know whether they're to buy players. Probably a striker. Probably a striker, I'd say, because I'm not a fan of them playing Havertz or Gabriel Jesus as a false nine. It may work sometimes in that system, but ultimately, I think, and Arsenal scored 90 odd goals last season, so it's not as if they are short of goals, but Arsenal get themselves a good striker or someone that can play up front. I think they'll do more damage to teams earlier in games with a decent striker. Um, I don't know much about Arsenal. I don't know why they're looking at Marino. Um, to me, and before the show, I said to Hanno that for me, Marino failed at Newcastle. And if they're available on the market, then I would rather go for Ruiz rather than Marino. But each to their own. Defensively, Calafiori, absolute gem of a player. He's pure quality, and he sews up that left-hand side, whether it's left back or left centre back. Calafiori is an absolute gem playing there. It's interesting what Mikel Arteta is going to do because he's going to have. I think Saliba is just starting right back, starting right centre back. But then in the left centre back, does he still pick Gabriel or is he going to go for Calafiori? And then in the left back position, which was a problem, with Zinchenko, Tierney, Tomiyasu, or does Urian Timber now come in and take that place? Because I think White's got the right back position sewn up. So Arsenal strong, but yeah, it's Man City because they keep doing it all the time.
yeah.
Um, and that's the only reason. It's because they've been there and worn the t-shirt, and yeah, rightly or wrongly, I'm going to say Man City. So I'm going to keep the same three from last year.
Okay. For me, I have gone Aston Villa in third, then Arsenal, City to win the league. Reason why I've gone Villa is champ. I think they've made some good signings. I think they've improved their squad depth compared to last season. Um, and I think Liverpool not signing anybody means they drop down. Um, so yeah. Um, so yeah, but Chelsea, I know you need to go now, so you where
Yeah, but
can
if you're going
people
to pick, if
find
you're going
you?
to pick, are you going to be, are you going to pick your top three?
My top three is Villa third, Arsenal second, City first.
And why are you going for Villa third? Why do you think
I
Villa third?
think signings wise, they have improved their squad depth. Even though they have lost Douglas Luiz, I think the likes of Onana and Barkley will improve. And don't, I think Emery will be smart enough and say, and we'll take the group stages seriously. But if he sees what is up against, like in the draws, later on, he will say, okay, no, let's leave the Champions League, focus on the league, and the cup competitions.
Right, fair enough.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's our 1 to 20 then. Done.
Yeah, 1 to
Right.
20 done.
Thank you very much, Hanno. Thank you very much for having me on. I play football on a Wednesday night, so I'm being picked up at 7:45, so I've got to go and get changed into my footy kit so I can go and play. I play 3 times a week. I play on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. So yeah,
Um,
thank you very much for having me on the show.
Emma,
Can I
thanks
say
for hopping on. I
no?
know we went a little too that's a lot over, but
That's all right.
it
And
happens.
can I thank everyone in the chat for who's commented on that on and discussed their opinions with what we've said and discussed their own opinions. It's you know yourself, Hanno, what makes the streams are the people in the chat, the people getting involved, and it's what
Hmm.
keeps you going. It gives you content to keep talking and that because you've got people that are retorting and coming back to you. So thank you to everyone in the chat for being engaged and getting involved. And yeah, I'd love to see you all again. I'm sure if you want to come over to me at Eltel Cockerell, they'll put the link up there. I am running three competitions this year for people that sub to me. I'm doing a predict the football. I think you lot call it Super Brew or something.
Super Brew is an app. That's the predictions basically.
Yeah, you put your
Uh,
predictions in, but I do it differently. I do it on a website called predictthefootball.com.
mm,
But I'm running that show. I've got a league there, and I'm running that. I think at the moment I've got 34 people up until last night because I did a show last night to grab some more. I've got 34 there. I'm also doing a fantasy Premier League as
mm,
well, which I think we had 42 people when I looked at that last night. And I'm also doing predictions where on a Friday I do a stream in the afternoon on a Friday. Usually starts at 4 o'clock, but I'm doing it at 3:30 this Friday because it's the first game of the season. Where I basically bring up every fixture, and then I ask the people in the chat, "What do you think the score will be?" And then I write them all down and I put them into a spreadsheet and that because people seem to like that last year when I did it, and I put it into a spreadsheet. So if people were to come over and sub over to me, there's 3 competitions I'm doing. They're all free of charge for people that subscribe to the channel.
mm. Yeah, this is why I also use because it basically kicks up like it has all the fixtures for you. You just put in the score line and stuff like that,
It's the same as
and
what I've
then it
got.
generates the leaderboard.
Yeah, predict the football does that as well. Is the one that we do does that exactly the same thing, but I do my own one as I'm doing that as a
Yeah.
league, the FPL, and I'm also doing a manual predictions one because that's what went well last year. And in that last year, I had 119 people in that competition.
Mm. So,
So So yeah, so
but,
if you put me my link up, if people want to come over, you're more than welcome to. We are open to fans from every football club. We don't, uh, look down on anyone from any other club, and everyone's welcome. Everyone goes, and everyone's respectful. I mean, you've been in my chat as well, Hanno, and Hanno's part of my WhatsApp group now as well. So at the end of the day,
Mm.
it's a respectful channel. And again, thank you very much for watching me, guys. And Hanno, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for hopping on.
All
Yeah,
right,
people go
no worries.
subscribe to him. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
man.
If
Cheers.
you just put the link up so people can see it, then that's fine. And I'll love you and leave you lot. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Take care. Yeah. I'll get through the comments. He's still, yeah, we will be selling him. We will be selling him. Don't worry. Um, I don't think Arsenal. Relax on Arsenal. Gravenberch, she's not good. Avialet's decent. Gakpo, yeah. So yeah, I I only expect third as Liverpool fan. We have the third best squad in the league. For me, we do need another centre back and number one DM. I don't think other positions are needed in my opinion. Nunes needs Uruguay boots on. He does. I think same as last season for us and one FA Cup. We won't be in a title race, but signings will change that. I think you've got the third best squad in the league, but I think Salah last year, Virgil last year, Trent last year, how would that affect you? And I think the lesser manager drops you down to there, but you could easily finish third. So yeah, I've gone also to win the league. They need to win the trophy, otherwise I'd say that should get the sack. In my opinion, I think City will win the Champions League. Yeah, I think they will focus on the champs, but I still think they will do the 5p. Yeah, he is. I don't know if it's confirmed by the club, but rumors are that he is, but not confirmed by the club yet. Um, also get a striker who can compete with Haaland. That striker can who can score the goals when they need it on their own. They who can score goals when on their own and they have huge chance. Yeah, I think also the problem last season wasn't that they didn't score enough goals. It was scoring the goals on the in the right moments. Yeah, Michael Edwards since coming to Liverpool would have wanted Arne Slot. Had Slot high up on the list of mentions because of talent and data. Yes. Cheers, Chefs fan. Be up yourself as always. Take care. Bro, take care. But I ahead of Liverpool and Chelsea. Yeah, I think so. Um, Bia Bakari, I don't know what you have said. I will try and copy it, but don't know. Give give gives you a to-do list across all leagues. Yeah, yeah. I will do. Yeah, I don't know if I will do one. Moss. I'll probably because I'm already in so many. Um, Dutch bowlers. There ain't many Dutch bowlers. There's only Van Persie and Beckham. Sorry, not Beckham. Bergkamp, Van Persie. Who else is there? Yeah, there's not really any. Cobra Kai and Jesus, but yeah, we have bought Iceman Jonathan David. We should have bought him. Ended Mourinho from he ended Mourinho from Champions League last night. So yeah, um, they need world class and more. They need world class and more. So yeah, but people, that's a predictions from any of till first. Be Jose for joining. Do make sure to subscribe to him. Um, so yeah, the link is above in pinned in my comment section and in my description. And on Waffle TV, it is in the chat over there. So yeah, but do make sure to also sub on Waffle TV. So yeah, Xerxes RVP, uh, Xerxes ain't a baller. Seed of how could I forget him? Gakpo is not a baller. Snyder, yes. Frankie De Jong, nah. Frankie De Jong was not anymore. RVP was Davids. Was Davids? I don't know. Maple syrups on the waffles. But yeah, go subscribe to Waffle TV. Get him to 200 by the before the start of the season. So yeah. But yeah, let's. I'm gonna end it there. Socials Waffle TV. Follow me Waffle TV just on Twitter and on Instagram. I believe you just search it and it comes up. Um, Travis Simmons is trash also. Um, and then of course for me, Instagram Hanu underscore coach underscore corner on Instagram, and then Hanu underscore coach corner on Twitter. So yeah, writing it up if you want me to join a fantasy league or so. Do yeah, Robin, yeah, he's quality legend. It's a legend, man. Yeah. Who else is there? South African, then zero. By your ratings, then no, we've got Lara Foster. He's an absolute legend. Shabalala also, and there's a few in the 90s. Um, yeah, so yeah, but it's all, it's all, it's all on that. So yeah, people are gonna wrap it up there. Hope to see you all on the new and on the next stream. Cheers, people. Enjoy your day, enjoy your evening, wherever you may be.